I believe it's very, very obvious frequently to talk about some ethics here to do with hunting, to do with our wildlife, to do with other people in the field. Now, there's a lot of things here that tie in together. I don't think that we've ever been at a point in time where ethics is so lacking to do with almost every aspect. People are just chomping at the bit to go somewhere to get a deer license, an elk license, a sheep license, or whatever it is, a bear license, and not being properly prepared, leaving your ammunition at home, not having a rifle that's up to the task, no matter what it is. Now, one of the greatest reasons why I'm talking about this is because the area that we live in, our game has been depleted, vastly depleted, and I mean vastly. Predation. We've got a huge amount of predation by wolves that were illegally brought into this country and turned loose in this part of the country. We've got a very high overpopulation of grizzly bears. Those are our two main problems on top of all this hunting. We've got out of control, too many licenses being issued for particular species. And the predation is not ever factored into the situation. Now, why? I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because the game department doesn't give a damn. That's why it's not factored in. They don't factor it in because if they factored it in, it'd all be in the scheme of things, and you'd learn that it was factored in, and you'd really get upset. They don't even bother to factor it in. Well, it upsets me that it's not factored in, because this is being nothing short of dishonest. Dishonest with our available wildlife numbers to be able to reliably take a certain amount of wildlife out of a particular species year after year without hurting the population. This is not what's going on. It's just quite the opposite of what's going on. All these things have a direct result to the number of the population of the game. Many, many years ago, it was put in place that when our grizzly numbers in this part of Wyoming here reached 300 and something, that the bear would be delisted and we could go back to hunting it. Well, we've got something in the neighborhood of 11 or 1,200 grizzlies in Wyoming alone. We factor in Montana, we factor in Idaho, and so forth. We've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 3.5 to 4 times that many. But the bear is still listed as endangered. This bear is not any more endangered than anything else that there is. It's not endangered at all. It wasn't endangered when it was listed. The only reason it was listed is because Yellowstone National Park was killing off hundreds of grizzlies, and this was a plan orchestrated to stop us from hunting grizzlies. And by golly, it sure as hell worked. There's one thing that's worked, and that's worked to the point that we can't hunt them. And I don't foresee ever in my lifetime hunting grizzly bears. So all these things that I'm talking about play into the total picture of ethics. We've got people out here that've got a great big ego. They watch these programs and they think you can do this and do that. If you buy this, you buy that, or whatever. We've got some tremendous amount of technology. But that technology is taking it beyond limits. There is a limit to what actually works in the field and what that technology has brought. We've got rangefinders, we've got bullets, we've got correctly built rifles, some rifles not correctly built, despite the fact that they claim, 1,000 yards right out of the box. It's never been proven. If it isn't proven at distance, if you haven't shot it at distance, yeah, you can buy a scope, you can go and look up ballistics figures and so forth, and that's a place you can start. But until you've shot that particular rifle with that particular load combination under real conditions, you don't know what it does. You have no idea. And the other aspect is there are too many other factors that play in. Ballistics coefficient is not an absolute number. Ballistics coefficient assigned to something is 6 1/4. Well, so what? All that is a computed number. Now take this computed number and be at a range and actually shoot with a rest situation, not on a bipod, but on real sandbag rests, and see how the rifle performs according to the ballistics figures that you've looked up. And everybody is going to find out that it doesn't play out exactly just how it says. Because I have done this hundreds of times, and there's always some variation. That variation alone is going to wound your game for you. We've got wind conditions, we've got temperature conditions, we've got barometric pressure, we've got humidity, light conditions. The change in the ballistics coefficient, yes, the ballistics coefficient changes. Changes numbers of times over 1,000-yard travel of the bullet. Everything changes. Dead still right here, but it's not halfway to the target, and you can't see it because you're shooting over a hill, you're shooting across the canyon beyond there, and you don't know what all it's doing. It's changing. And this is what's causing all these problems. You see? Why do you think that these people claiming 1,000 yards out of the box have to lie to you? This is really, really sad. Now, I had somebody call me about 10 days ago that hunts somewhere in the southeast and, said that he used semi-automatic rifle, a Remington semi-auto or something like that, and one thing another. And what I thought about that, consideration of using a bolt action rifle, and I asked him why he had to use the semi-auto. Well, when I take a pot shot at something, well, that isn't what in the hell that you do. You don't take a pot shot at an animal. I don't care if it's a doe deer or a 150 class whitetail buck deer or whatever it is. You don't take a pot shot at any damn thing, thinking that by just chance you're going to hit the thing. And the guy probably isn't capable of tracking the animal that he wounded in the first damn place. And that's brought up another part of the subject was, well, do I need to use something else? Well, you need to be sure you're shot. That's what you need to do. You need to not pull the trigger until you're sure of the shot. You don't take a pot shot at something. This is just another damn part of the unethical situations. We've got outfitters all over this part of the country. We've got a few of them that are fine. We've got some of them that are just out there to take your money and take you on a 10-day horseback ride in a nicely fit camp, maybe good meals and whatnot. But as far as finding any game, we're in bad shape. There are places that have game, but for the most part, it's not right here. But this stuff is allowed to go on and on and on and on. We've got outfitters that are handing their rifle to a client that's supposedly one of these long-range, out-of-the-box 1,000-yard guns that you've never shot in your entire lifetime, and encouraging you to shoot at an elk at 782 yards. You've got no damn business taking anybody up on it. We had an outfitter here at one time that's moved north, and he claimed for years that he could put all of his hunters within 250 yards of any game that they're hunting. And he still does that, even though he's in the north, you see. And we've got folks that won't let you go to the hills with them if you got one of these fang-dangled so-called 1,000-yard out-of-the-box rifles, because they've experienced all the problems. It's not 1,000 yards out of the box, and if they work for 3 or 4 days for you to put you on a 360 bull elk and you shoot at it with this rifle that's not capable, and you don't touch it or you wound it, then it creates a lot of trouble for the guide and or the outfitter and the person that did it to be able to try and recover it, and maybe you never recover it. We're going to lose almost everything that we have today because the attitudes of people, the unethical approach to all these things is how we're going to lose. People that just think that they can just do anything. This brings us into another facet of the whole thing. Electronic communication from here to there to yonder. Outfitter someplace with you, he's hunting. You're not finding game, and he's got a guide or a couple of guides or maybe 3 guides in various parts of the country looking for game, and they contact you, message you that, you know, they found an elk here or a ram there or whatever. This shouldn't be going on at all.
That's not hunting.
This is not hunting at all. This is boiled down to nothing but money, 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 money.
The prostitution of our wildlife.
It's exactly what it is. Kathy said it's the prostitution of our wildlife. And this really sucks. It's really, really bad. It's really, really bad. And it's going on every day, and it's going on every day just about anywhere you can look. This continues to go on. Not in this, just in this part of the country, and all parts of the country, and in other parts of the world it's going on. It's the same damn crap going on, you see. And have a lot of folks with lots and lots and lots of money to spend huge, huge amounts of money to be able to hunt an animal here or there or someplace else. We've got a lot of folks that just have just an endless supply. It doesn't make any difference what it is. And this is really driving another aspect of it. These situations of communication, the apps that you can buy, information on where you might find game. Anytime that stuff's out there, it's only going to last for a little bit and it's going to be gone. Because we've got people, they just absolutely don't care. They don't care about that. They don't care about anything. They don't care about the life of those animals in a lot of instances. This is why we're in the shape that we're in a lot of situations. So, ethics. We've got to get a hold of ethics because it's gotten completely out of hand. especially really out of hand in this part of the country. And I hope that that might change, you know, with proper direction, that it hopefully might change. But it certainly isn't going to be overnight.